We are live. What up? What up? What up? What is popping? I think I got everything together. I think I got everything. We gonna try this. We gonna try this and see how things work with this. All right, let me check. Let me check and see if I'm live. I should be live. Let me see. Oh yeah, we are live. Yep, we are live. Let me see who we all got up in the chat. We ain't got nobody just yet. Let's see here. Yeah, everything is good. So we live. Let's see here. Make sure I change that so we can see the comments. One thing I didn't do is let everybody know that I'm live. Yeah, we good. We super good. All right. Yep, it's looking good. All right. So what is popping? I know when it comes to these lives, I'm not expecting a whole lot of people to come into the live, but I do expect for a lot of people to check out the playback. So I'm gonna just spit, and when y'all come in, just know what's going down, because you already see what's in front of you. So it's the top of the week, so you already know what time it is. It's your boy, Mr.BandClap, at it again with a pop-up on point Orisha Tarot forecast spread, and this is going to be for the week of Monday, June the 8th till Sunday, June the 14th of 2026. So this is what we're doing. I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly because unless there's some people in the chat who would like a live reading or something like that, and as you all know, if you want to be able to take advantage of my services and also to check out my new animated series that I'm still working on, that's the reason why I haven't been so active live on YouTube. www.bandclaptv.com. So that's what you have to do if you want to check those things out, and also if you just want to support what I got going on. It's two ways you can do that. You can support by clicking the links in my description, or you can just go to my website, www.bandclaptv.com, and just click on the support tab. So I made it very easy for you all to be able to support. Even though these days I'm rarely on YouTube because I'm working on this animation and I'm super happy about it. Super excited about how that is going. I can't wait till you all see that. And so let's get started. So we're gonna get started with a little bit of astrology, just to put things into perspective. So this is a very interesting energy that we're in. I'm hearing time jump, timeline skip. A lot of us are shedding. We've shed a lot of the previous reality, previous things that we don't want in our lives anymore and stuff like that. Just doing a lot of shedding and a lot of letting things go and stuff like that. Give me a second. Like Okay. So yeah, I should be back. All right. Ooh. Nah, that ain't good. Okay. So let me lower this audio a little bit so that way y'all will be able to hear it. For the people that's coming in, don't hesitate to stop me and let me know if the audio is too loud or anything like that, because when I'm spitting, I'm not really looking at anything. Let me check one more time on my end to make sure it's good. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so we're good. All right. So getting into a little astrology, like I said, a lot of us are going through these different transformations and different changes because of the shift that is going on. And so, as you can see, right now the sun is in Gemini, and we are headed to that second half of Gemini. See, I was born on the first half of Gemini, which is May 22nd, and then my dad, he was born on June the 3rd. Then my homeboy Ty, he's born on the 20th. I think it's the 20th. He gonna kill me. So I don't know his birthday, but I'm pretty sure it's the 20th though, because I know he's right there at that cusp of Gemini and Cancer, and I'm born at the cusp of Gemini and Taurus. So with that being said, you know, we're in the latter part of Gemini. So a lot of talking, you know, a lot of things on people's minds and stuff like that. So right now, as we can see, Gemini is in the 5th house. So with Gemini being in the 5th house, this is us talking about these things when it comes to creativity. A lot of us, you know, I know me, definitely been in my childlike energy. I've been doing a lot of things to fuse together that child version of me that wished that he experienced different things, that childlike version of me that wished that they had certain things and stuff like that. And wait, let me see something, because I want to make sure this isn't private, because that's one thing I forgot. Let me make sure this ain't private. Yeah, it's public. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so like I was saying, you know, what's gonna be on our minds right now? We're gonna be more inquisitive right now, you know, full of communications. You know, we're a lot more sociable right now. You know, creativity is one of the major things, and it's very interesting because even when we look in the media, when we look at a lot of these movies, and we got a lot of video game showcases and different things like that that's coming out right now. And you know, it started before the Michael movie. The Michael movie, you know, shared this same sentiment, and then a lot of the movies and stuff that's coming up in the future, what I'm seeing critic-wise, is also sharing this same sentiment. And that is, you know, when you go into these movies nowadays, you can't really go in expecting something spectacular, and that's not normal. Like that's not something that we used to bank on. You know, that's not, you know, when we go to the movies and we go to concerts and different things that we have to spend our hard-earned money to enjoy these. You know, these are supposed to be high-level entertainment. A lot of money has been spent on this stuff. You know, a lot of these celebrities have all of this energy from their fans, and you know, the different magic that they do behind the scenes to make themselves so magnetic and all of that. So with all of that being said, in my mind, you know, there shouldn't be a such thing as a bad act if you're paying for it. So when I'm seeing all of these different movies in succession, and all of these different songs and different things especially the stuff that the mainstream media is promoting. All of these things are, um, it's like all of these things. It's like they're mid. It's like you're paying top dollar for some mid shit. I'm like, yo, like that's not cool, and it's not something that is should be the norm. So, with that being said, even because as you can see, as far as what we're gonna be feeling on an overall level, our moon sign, the moon is in Pisces, and it's in the second house. So with that being said, a lot of us can be in la la land when it comes to what we're supposed to be valuing. A lot of us are in la la land when it comes to where we're at right now, and where we know that we should be. I'm gonna say it like that. And Taurus right now is in the fourth house. So some of us, the reason why we're in this position that we're in now, where you're in such a la la land, you're in such a disassociative mindset when it comes down to your self-esteem and your sense of self-worth, and all those type of things, because there was a disconnect when it came to the home front. It all starts at home. It all starts with your childhood, and how you grew up, and how you was able to build what you started at first. And with this being said, I can think about Lizzo right now, because Lizzo, she's a Taurus, and she's in la la land right now when it comes to her self-worth and her value in the industry. She didn't understand that the reason why the industry chose her. And this is the thing that I got to get people to understand who are not in the industry, but they're good musicians and stuff like that. And this is something that I had to learn. In this music industry, or in any industry, but especially the music industry, or Hollywood in general. So that's music, anything that deals with media, because I'm going to talk about that too. Anything that deals with media is not what you think when it comes to how they choose people, how you end up in certain hierarchy levels in the industry. None of these things are what you think, and it has never been what we thought. This is something that has been going on for ever since that there was a such thing as Hollywood. And what I'm saying is, it's always been a situation where you had to be chosen. There's always been a situation in these industries, especially Hollywood, where you have to be chosen. And that's what people don't understand. It's never been about talent. We know that now, but it's never been about talent. It's never been about how much you can market yourself. It's never been about any of these things, being completely honest. It's always been about being chosen. And you being chosen from a Hollywood perspective is a totally different situation from, let's say, you being chosen to be the one to break the generational curses in your family. Let's just say it like that. And since people don't really understand what Hollywood really has been, or what it always was, it's like they continue to go down this rabbit hole, and now they're in this perpetual state of reincarnation. So, and this is something that, again, still stuff that when I was channeling Michael, I was getting this information. And it was like, it's always been this situation to where, you know, we live in a world, and all of us have our own worlds, but the governmental, you know, the organization that has been governing our mental all of this time, the particular beings that are a part of this. You know, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. You know, all of this was channeled. A lot of this stuff it would take me to go on a hell of a journey in order to look this stuff up and really get the whole thing. But there's so many people other than me that talks about this stuff. But Hollywood has always been about these groups of beings, and these beings have been here for so long. They've been here for so many centuries and all of this type of stuff. To better explain who these beings are, these beings in a program or a video game in a program, these beings represent the bugs in the game. You know, they represent the bugs that haven't been patched. They represent all of these different openings in the game that these bugs were able to come in and invade the game. So now the game is very toxic. Is very toxic because instead of resetting the game, instead of the game being reset, we've been placed under this perpetual, it's like a perpetual loop that we've been in. And certain I say primordial higher ups, there's like a confusion, and these primordial higher ups, they can't, until now, but they couldn't really see what was really going on, because there's like this masking technology. There's like this I don't know why I want to say Luciferian, but there's this technology, this ancient technology that has been used for so long to fool the cosmos into thinking that everything down here is okay, and everything down here has been okay. And the only way to really explain it even deeper is just thinking about black people. The reason why that we're starting the foundational Black American movement. For so many decades, there has been other countries, there's been people that has been very sympathetic on what we have been through as foundational Black Americans and stuff like that, and they've been giving us help. We've been getting different things, but since we haven't really had an identity like that, you know, we was given the term black from Jesse Jackson, who was an agent. You know, we know that he was an agent. So since that term wasn't something that we created, they were able to co-opt all of these other different bugs and these different you know, they were able to hack that word. They were able to hack that word and tether different other things to that word, and it is parasitic. So it drains out what the word was really supposed to mean, and the reward, not the rewards, but the help and the subsidies and all of these different things that was supposed to be specifically for us. Since that word has been hacked so much, and now there's so many other different people who wouldn't you know, pee on us if we were on fire. Now they're the ones that get all of the subsidies, and they get all of the help, and they get all of this stuff that was supposed to specifically be for us. And it's been happening for so long. It's been happening for so long that we don't understand what we're supposed to have. We don't understand what was inherited for us, because we've been without it so long, and we've been programmed by these you know, so-called higher ups that we don't deserve anything else. So now think about that on a spiritual level. Think about that on a cosmic level. You know, think about that on a cosmic level. And I can only really talk about it from my point of view because, I can't talk about nobody else's spiritual work. I can only talk about my spiritual work. And one thing that I'm understanding, the first thing that I had to understand, what's up, Satchel? And you can tap in on this too. The first thing that I had to understand when it came to my world is that I don't run my world like I thought I did. And that was a hard pill to swallow, and this was when I really tapped in, was really able to get by myself again, and I was able to tap in and do that work that I was trying to do a couple years ago. And I was finally able to, the best way to say it is talk to God. I was able to talk to the entity that has been running my world for so long. And that entity, and I call this entity my great 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 grandma. My great 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 grandma. And we call her Medea. We call her Medea. And she's the one that runs Eshu's world. And she runs Eshu's world a certain type of way because we all have a choice. I'm gonna say it like that. We all have a choice. I chose, and I don't know why I did it back, then, but I know why I did it now. But I chose to let her run my world. I chose to let her do that because I knew that, it's crazy because this is my personality. Like I don't like being a dictator. I don't like being a dictator. That's not how. It's like Eshu's way of leading. Eshu's way of leadership is very interesting. Like he likes to have when it comes to being successful, Eshu likes to give you so many different examples. He likes, and in order for Eshu to give you these perfect examples of different choices and different stuff, he can't send somebody else down, to live these lives. Eshu himself has to do it himself. He has to come down and live these different lives so he can be the example. And that's what was shown to me. When I'm done with this life, it's an example that I'm supposed to make. And the data from my particular avatar is gonna be made one with the real me. That's the best way to explain that. So with the whole thing about Lizzo, the whole thing about her situation, she doesn't understand that the person that she was when she was a lot bigger, that particular character was something that was needed in the industry at the time. That's the reason why she was chosen. She's been doing music for I don't know how long. She's been doing music for a minute. And as soon as she made a certain statement with her size and her weight and all of that, this is why she got chosen. And she's not understanding that. She's in La La Land because now she's a lot more healthier. She's losing weight. She's doing all of these things. And now she's wondering why she's not getting the same type of push from the media, because at the end of the day, we live in an upside down world. And with this midheaven in Scorpio, this is what we got to understand. We live in an upside down world, and the media that runs this world, which is a feminine entity, T-word entity, is a mockery and a toxic copy of Medea. who runs the world. When you leave this world, Medea is the one that runs the spiritual realm, you know? And Medea has so much freaking knowledge from all of these different eons and different stuff. So the world that Eshu is in is a world that has been cultivated by Medea. So Eshu has to traverse through this world so he can get to know all of these ancestors, all of these different, um, beings that represent who we know today as the Orisha, who we know today as the Loa, who we know today as the Mesopotamian gods and goddesses, the Egyptian gods and goddesses. Medea has all of that knowledge. And when you think about this world that we live in, it's an upside down world because look at how Medea in this world has been toxified. We don't even have the grandmama archetype. Me and my homegirl, we was talking about this earlier today. So I don't want to be too much on this, but I just had to get that out because when it comes to the industry, the reason why you're chosen is so that these beings, these bugs, these beings that can't do what you do, they can't enter the body that you can enter, they can't access the certain dimensions that you can access. They've all been trying to figure out, how can I enter that dimension where we all get our music from? I don't even know what to call them, because if y'all was able to go outside y'all body and look at this world around you, if y'all was able to look at this world astrally, you would see that this world is 2D. It's like cardboard cutouts. It's like different cardboard cutouts, and it's like a diorama. And if you can see what these higher ups look like, in that particular perspective, you will see that they look like bugs. They look like if you left out a banana, or if you left out a piece of fruit and you left it outside for too long, and you come back and you see ants, you might see flies, you might see some beetles, you might see some rats, all of that type of stuff. So in the astral world, that's who these beings that are the higher ups in this realm, that's what they look like. And you're chosen so you can be experimented on. I don't know. It's like I've been trying to say this for months, and I've never been able to get it out until now. So the reason why you're chosen, not so you can be famous and so you can do all of this stuff. You're chosen so you can be experimented on by these beings, and you're being experimented on. You can't say no because you signed the contract. So whatever they come out with, whatever kind of things they come out with, like Neuralink or new medicines or new drugs or all of this stuff, you're going to be the first ones to take it, because that's what you were actually chosen for. You were chosen so you can get experimented on, and then as you're getting experimented on, you're losing your soul essence, which is your connection to that divine source. You're losing that. The more and more and more you got to go to these meetings and get experimented on, you lose more and more and more of your essence and your soul. So what you got to do now in order for you to replace that? Well, there's different things. The first thing is, when you come in and you're signed and all of that stuff, the mockery is the hit songs that's really, really gonna make you a hit and famous and all of that stuff. They make it a thing that you wasn't the one that, either you wasn't the one that wrote that, so you didn't write that spell that got you able to manifest fame, because that's what songs are. Songs are spells. So you didn't write that spell. Somebody else wrote that spell and you were just the person that was chosen to sing it, or you was the person that was chosen to act that role, or you was the person that was chosen to do this, and you don't understand why. It's because you was you're connected to a certain vibration that they wish that they can tap into, but they're using you as a conduit and a freaking medium because they can't do it. So you're slowly losing your soul, you're slowly losing it, and then you're slowly losing it, and then you got to make deals with these lower level entities that masquerade as Orisha. They masquerade as these different beings, because remember what I told y'all in that other video. The energy that we call fame or famous, that energy, the lowest level demons, they at least got that going for them. The lowest level demons. So with that being said, that's what I have against possession. That's what I have against letting anything that's not in your world possess you. You're letting otherworldly shit possess you. That's not. I'll never be for that. I don't like that. I don't. You know, it's like you worked all of this time. You worked all of this. You know, all of this. So you worked all of this in the cosmos so that you can, be able to afford the body that you have and afford this life that you have, even though that you may not understand why, because we all lost our memories. But why would I then willfully give up my controller to some sly disembodied spirit that, they don't have access to their own body? This is another thing that I got to say too. I'm getting all these thoughts out. I'm a little tipsy because I've been drinking a little beer, but I got to get all this out before I get to the OPOT, because it's just flowing out. But yeah. Dang, let me see. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back so I can get it back.
I understand why, because we all lost our memory.
Let me see.
But why would I?
Yeah. So what I was saying was, why would I then willfully give up my controller to a sly disembodied spirit? And this is the thing that I was going to say too. All of the Orisha, all of the Lua, most of the highest ranking of these entities are also in human bodies, and they trapped down here with us. I'm going to say it again. Some of the highest representations of the Orisha, the Loa, the Palo spirits, all of these different entities that y'all are getting possessed over in these ceremonies, all of those entities they also have a soul, and they're also trapped in a human body, and they down here with us. So you better get to know who you really are, your world, because it's getting to a point. Our spiritual gifts are opening up, and when I be seeing these different women, and these women are, you said paying bills and shit. What you mean by that, Satchel? What you mean by that? But yeah, I don't even think I would want to be with a woman who is a part of these different ATRs, and they got to get possessed, because it's like I don't know, like on an ancestral level, I was very, very, very warned against that. You don't want nothing else that's outside of your world having a possession over your body, especially in these times that we're in now, because It's like you giving the bully a controller and they're not gonna give it back. You know, you making deals with these entities for your soul. Like, it's like I'm seeing it because we're all of this that I'm talking about is Scorpio in the 10th house. I'm exposing all of the sacrifice. You know, we got Lilith in Capricorn right now in the ascendant. The ascendant is in Capricorn. Say all of the Orisha and Loa are down here trying to pay rent. They got child support. Bruh, I'm telling you, dog, the most potent Oshun energy is in the hood. She got like 4-5 kids. She got like 4-5 kids. You're wondering why she ain't out here hoeing, or she got an OnlyFans. You know, you get to know her, you find out she got an altar. She got an altar in her room. She got some candles, and it just seemed like she always can take care of her kids. Like, when it comes to Oshun, she is one of the most mysterious. She's one of the most mysterious goddesses, because it's like, as a man, it's so hard for you to understand her. You got to have the mind of a child in order to understand Oshun. You got to have the mind of a child, because as a man, I can never understand the different things that she do. Like, she'll know that this man ain't the right type of man for her, and she'll still get with him. She'll still get with the dude and end up having some type of turnaround out of that situation, that most chicks, you know, they been ended up in a crazy situation where they lost everything. I'm like, yo, what in the world? Like, she over here crying and bawling, crying, like, oh my god, oh, you know. And then a week later, oh, I just got this money came in. I just got this house. I just got this. I just got that. And I'm like, whoa. Was that a mission? Like, was that your mission as the representation of Oshun, that you had to get with that man and show him something? And then it reminds me of Janet Jackson, when she got with that prince, and it was like an agreement, and she got like millions out of it, but she had to have his baby and do all this stuff, and she did it. See, that's what Janet Jackson is known for. Janet Jackson, I'm not gonna say that. She is where she's at because of her talent, because she was so defiant. But at the end of the day, when you take a listen to Michael's music and you take a listen to Janet's music, you can tell that the industry had a hand in both of their rise. You know, before they ended up becoming defiant, and then the industry had to put belt to ass. You know, just like how Medea, you know, you doing something wrong with Medea, she'll put belt to ass. But it's not the same when we're talking about the media, because they got a lot of scrutiny that you know, they wasn't supposed to have. But the reason why Janet has been able to keep herself clean, other than Michael, was because Janet made certain agreements and she kept her end of the agreement. You know, if I ever made a Janet Jackson Chronicles, it'll be talking about all the different agreements, all the secret agreements that Janet Jackson made behind the scenes. And you know, and that was the real thing when it came to Justin Timberlake. What she found out the hard way about is that you know, when it comes to the Wonder Boy, the white boy, that's the Wonder Boy, you know, he has different privileges that a black woman in this same industry would just never have, no matter how powerful that she is. And that's something that she had to learn the hard way about, you know. So does anybody have any other thing before I get into the OPOT when it comes to this I don't think there's nobody in here. What's up, Sasha? You still up in here? You said the sad part is, man, the baby Oshun is starting to become a rarity. Yeah, well, no, she's not a rarity. Um, she's not a rarity. It's just that, again, you gotta have a childlike Eshu mind in order to find Oshun, because she's a shapeshifter. Not only is Oshun a shapeshifter, but when she goes into her cave and she goes into her different quantum realities, Oshun represent a bunch of different goddesses. You know, so it's like, okay, you know, Oshun might not be herself around, but you may see Basset. You may see Basset walking around, or you may see Het Heru walking around, or you may see Isis, or you may see Inanna walking around. You may even see Akasha walking around. These are all different versions of Oshun's essence being packaged in different vessels. You know. All right. So let's go ahead with this overall. Let's go ahead with this overall. Cut the music back on. So, like I always say, this overall is gonna come from the Santissima Muerte Oracle deck. Man, that was a long few minutes, but it was very needed because people need to understand what the industry is all about. The industry experiments on the soul. That's what they do. That's what this whole shit is about. That's what Hollywood is about. That's what all of this stuff is about. It's about these beings finding certain people that have access to certain parts of their soul, and they take them and they experiment on them, and then the person that you see in front of your TV screen, it is no longer them. They, as soon as they got put on that TV screen, they got replaced. You know, so they've been mounted, or they've been cloned, or like Lotto. You know, that's like she's like a reptile now. Like any of them that you see, they got that real deep voice. You know, that's them. That's that reptile. That's that reptile stuff. You know, I just wish that y'all could just see how things look outside of this world, and that's what brings me to the movie They Live, because right now. And I'm gonna break this more down when I talk about the Freeman, but the world is getting like They Live. We already got people out here, black people that got chips in them. Even though we may be against it, there are gonna be hundreds and a bunch of people out here that got chips in them. They got meta glasses on. They got all of this different stuff. So it's really gonna be the man versus the machine again, and the Son of God is returning, because we're not talking about some mythical Jesus. When I say the Son of God, I'm talking about Chronos. I'm talking about a actual corona that is gonna be in the sky, and this corona, when this corona is like a blast, when this corona blast hits you, is gonna activate different things within you, and you know, that's that on that. All right, so let me take this down and let me show the overall. All right, so this is the overall message from the Santissima Muerte deck. As you can see, since we're in Gemini, we got two cards. So the first card is the 27. That comes down to 9. So that's going to be some transformation, some Oya type energy with that 27 card. Then you got the 6 card. That's the Virgo card. So these are both outer things that we're going to be doing. But at the end of the day, on a inner level, these are also things that you need to make sure that you understand as well. So let me go get my book. I thought I had it. Give me a second. This is still the RV Chronicles because I'm still doing this in the RV. Hold on. All right. Okay, so I got my book. So let's see. So the 27 card. Okay. So the 27 card is talking about harvest. And it makes sense. You know, a lot of us have naturally phased. I'm gonna say the word phased. A lot of us have naturally phased into a specific version of us, and we need to learn more about that particular version so that we can fully synthesize that version. Understanding what about this version of us that we're phasing into, that we phased into, what about this version of us that we like, what we don't like. I'm already seeing the version that I've phased into, and in this particular phase, in this particular person being that I phased into, which is another timeline, it's like I got this anxiety because in this particular timeline, none of my parents are here. So it's like I've been wondering why I've been so gung-ho about getting my mom sea moss, you know, getting my dad soursop bitters, and trying to do everything I can do to make sure that their health is good, you know. So that's just on my end. But so this is talking about harvest. You have not yet reached your final realization, but the results are coming. So preserve and continue in your work. So that's a message for a lot of us right now. You know, there's a lot of channel messages. We're getting a lot of channels. We're getting a lot of stuff spiritually coming in. Is not all there yet. It's for us to take this information and meditate on it and stuff like that, so that you can get the instructions that you're supposed to get. So now we got the 6th card. So the first card, that's talking about harvest. After an intense and energetic phase of work, it is time to harvest what you have produced. This is what Lizzo is trying to do. She's trying to harvest, but she's gonna see, in order for her to get that harvest that she's trying to get, she's gonna have to go back to being a character that she's been trying to upgrade from. Like she's been trying to be more healthier. She's trying to do that, but then what she don't understand is the character that she came into the industry with is the character that's gonna give her the money. It's gonna get her the money because that's what she was chosen to promote. Just like T.I. Just like T.I. You know, T.I., in order for T.I. to be respected in the media like he was back in 2003, he had to go back and start looking like he did in 2003. And as you can see, now the media, oh, he's back. But no, you know, that was back when he was getting locked up and he was hot-headed and all this kind of stuff. You know, so it's like they're gonna you can't transform in the industry unless it's something that the industry okays. If they don't okay it, then you're gonna be transforming all you want to. That's gonna be the last time you see millions in your bank account. You know, that's just how it is. So with this 6th card, this is talking about order. So the 27 card, that's talking about harvest. And then we're harvesting, but then there's order. There's some order that we have to make sure that we're understanding. So this is talking about learning to organize your ideas, but also to have the courage to abandon them if necessary, and not to remain trapped in them. See, us who are not in the industry, this is what is going to make us powerful right now, because we can do away with the old us, and we can transform and stuff like that, and we don't have an industry that we have to answer to and all of that type of stuff. We don't have that. So it's like, be grateful and be thankful. It's like I'm sitting on so much music, but I'm not in an industry, so it's not locked away in some vault, and I gotta do all this begging and pleading for me to get my music back because it's in a vault and all that kind of stuff. I'm glad that I don't have to go through that. I'm glad that I had certain people in my ear when I was younger to make timeless music. So now I got stuff that even if I come out with it, even if I decide to come out with it years from now, it's still going to be relevant. And that's something that Michael also talked about. And this is the reason why, when it comes to how things are going under, is because, we don't make timeless anything. Like, we don't make timeless music. We don't make, right now, I have a motorbike. I wish I could have showed, if this was like a live stream off of my phone, I could have showed it. But this particular motorbike, it's a speed bike, and it has a motor on it. And this is something that the e-bikes were supposed to replace. So back in 2017, I wanted one of these motorized bikes, but then the kits and stuff like that were so cheaply made, I didn't have a good experience with it. But then for these last few months, I've been using a scooter, and that scooter, it's been, it's okay, but with that scooter, the battery don't last long. It don't really go that fast. If you want a scooter that goes at least 25, or you want an e-bike that goes at least 30 to 35 miles an hour, you're gonna be paying $1,000. You're gonna be paying upwards of thousands in order to do that, especially if you don't want something that's gonna blow up in your pantry or blow up in your garage or whatever. So it's like, when it comes to a lot of stuff, I'm finding myself going back to the old school way of doing stuff, because it's like the stuff that we've replaced the old school with has failed us. We shouldn't have never let some of that old school stuff go. Let me see what you're saying, Satchel. You said, man, that's on point. I keep hearing Spirit say, that's not it. We got more for you. Yeah. But see, I was stubborn, man. I was stubborn. I really wanted to be in the industry. So I didn't take it a good way when different things was happening that I ended up being rejected. But then when I look back on all of this music that I got that's mine, nobody else owns it but me. I got the master copy, and I can put it out anytime I want to and make 100% of the profit. And sometimes I gotta, if God had a back, I'll pat him on the back. Okay, so that's the overall. Let's see what Monday has for us. So let me take this down. Okay, now let's see what Monday has for us. All right. So as you can see, the ascendant right now is in Capricorn. So we got this GOAT card. So this is talking about today what we're going to be talking about, because it's Gemini. A lot of what we're going to be talking about has a lot to do with having to come up under certain illusions, because we got the Ten of Water at the bottom. That's talking about that's talking about you being outside of your element, but you were still able to make it happen. And then when we talk about the Seven of Water, because this is all emotional, this is talking about unrealizable dreams, um, unrealizable dreams, expectations. This is you um, taking risks that it's a risk that is not supposed to work out. I'm gonna just say it like that. Um, this is talking about someone who is known for being able to always be straight no matter what element that they get put in. But the reason why this person may not have a lot of followers, or this person may not have a lot of attention, is because um the the stuff that they go after to everybody else, it seems like an unrealizable dream. It's like, this is like Noah and his ark. It's 11 11 11 11, 55%. So this is talking about Noah. It's like Noah and his ark. Nobody believed him. You know what this also reminds me of? So this reminds me of that girl that was twerking at the graduation. That's what this is. So the tin of water represents that she got her diploma, or this is someone who was always known um for saying certain off the wall stuff, or doing certain off the wall stuff. And and with this seven of water, it's like nobody thought that she would actually go through with it. But then Eshu, this is you. You better know who you are. You better know who in the hell you are, Eshu, because you being this particular, you representing this particular Orisha, and I'm gonna go on record to say this shit. There is no such thing as a child of Eshu. I'm gonna go on record to say it. There's no such thing as a child of Eshu, because when Eshu wants to get some shit done, he himself is going to compact himself down, compact his soul down to where he can fit it into a baby, into a human baby, become the baby Eshu, and he's gonna do it himself. You know? So every time I see versions of Eshu down here, and I look beyond the body, I'm like, oh yeah, that's them. That's them. Yep. Like he's gonna be who he is no matter what. And that's what I love about my inner child, the baby Eshu. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see it. Everything in Eshu's world is channeled, by the way. These episodes, I don't go to Chat GPT and get no kind of ideas for none of my stuff. It all comes from channel. And with that being said, that means that I gotta do a different type of working out. I gotta do a different type of exercise. I gotta do a different type of work, so I can make sure that my mental is always connected to the Most High, because that's where I get my ideas and all of that stuff from. And then that's what that four of earth, you always, if you can just stick through the process, if you can, if you're someone that has always had a reputation of taking that risk, taking that chance to make that change, and you always end up breaking away and you always end up breaking away unscathed, this is the day that you need to stop underestimating your issues. Stop that. Stop underestimating your issues, knowing that it's gonna lead to you being the GOAT at the end. I don't know who need to hear that, but that's your message from the baby Eshu himself. All right. So let's see what Tuesday has for us. So Tuesday, the devil is busy. The devil is busy. What is it? Faith without works. Yemoyah is saying that faith without works is dead. That's what Yemoyah is saying. Because see, you got, again, Yemoyah can also represent media. When she's reversed, she can represent the media, but she's upright. So this is talking about media, you know. And when Medea sees you, she sees this, the man card, upright. I did a video, I did a podcast a few years ago, talking about the many faces of Yemoya. And I talked about how you can't call yourself a child of Yemoya, or, you know, because she is a mother whose children are like fishes. So you can be a child of Yemoya. You can't be a child of Yemoya and you don't like men. Like, you got to be fascinated with men. You got to be fascinated with the male species in order for you to say that you are a child of Yemoya. Because Yemoya, man, when I tell you, Yemoya, she's kind of like Nut. She's like Nut. How Nut and Geb have such a unbreakable bond between each other. How Yemoya and the Orisha Oko and Obatala, you know, those are all the same being, Odua. How they have such an unbreakable bond, they transform together, you know. So this is what we have to understand about being in this world, you know, that we're fallen angels. We got to understand that. We got to understand that we are a fallen angle of light. Like, we got to get the spookism out of this shit. We are a angle. We are, if God represents the sun, you know, God's son, then when the sun's rays, if the sun's rays was able to shine down on a vessel, and the sun's rays was able to fill that vessel, that human vessel, up with light, that's who we are. That's who we are. We are a fallen angle of light, and it's a double. It's like a double with this two of earth. It's like we all live double lives. We all live double lives. You know, you have a life that you have to live on this earth, and then when you go to sleep, there's another life that you're living. You know, and when it comes to Yemoya, she is a multi-dimensional goddess. She's a multi-dimensional mother goddess, which means that there's a Yemoya in the astral world, there's a Yemoya in the physical world, there's a Yemoya in the cosmic world. Her name is Yembo. You got all of these different versions, but it's all the same thing. You know, it's nothing but we are nothing but a reflection of our higher self, who never left source. One thing that I had to understand as an inner child, my inner child never left my grandmama's house. You know, and see, the Bible say, in my Father's house there are many mansions. You know, I don't live in that house. I live in my grandmother's house, and my grandmother's house have many rooms. In my grandmother's house, in my great grandmother's house, there are so many different rooms in that house, and each room is like a different world. And these are different things that worked in that world, but it was old school, it was old fashioned. And you know, as time went on, people just felt like that it wasn't worth anything. But great grandmama, she knew that this time would come where one of her great grandchildren, one of her children, was gonna end up wanting to seek a certain type of knowledge. You know, like all of this stuff coincides. So that's Tuesday. Understanding that we are all fallen angles of light. the light of God, the light of Olodumare. You know, we are the fallen angles of that light. You know, and we live double lives every day. You go to sleep, you live in another life. You wake up, you live in another life. And understand that when it comes to manifesting, because Yemoya is the master manifester. She's the master manifester. You gotta be one with yourself as a man or as a woman. You have to be one with yourself, and you have to have the faith and the hope that that things are gonna work out. That's the reason why manifestations don't be working, right? And then with this message from fire, you gotta speak to your candles. You know, you gotta do that magic. You gotta do that magic. Ma G. Magic comes from the mother. Ma. You know, Ma Jit. Ma Jit. The mother's Jit. The mother's child. He got the magic. You know, the great grandchild, he got the magic. And the magic, the Jit, the child of the great mother that has the magic. That is who the Ma son, the Mason, that's who the Mason is making a mockery of, really. Because the mother's child, the Magit, the Magi, we were the first builders. Peace, this is so on point. Started candle gazing on intuition this week. I'm telling you, man, I just started. And I wish I could show the video of what happened to me. Satchel, he know, because I had to tell him. I wonder can I get that? I wonder can I get that video and show y'all, because it was crazy. It was crazy. Let me see. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and send this to myself, and then I'm gonna keep going. So just remind me about Tuesday, because this is very important. I had to go back and do that, because the message from fire is the actual work. You know, when it comes to us as spiritual beings, we don't do physical work. Like, physical work is not fulfilling for us, because we come from a dimension that's higher than that. So it's hard for you to program your mind with something that you already know that your mind has upgraded from. It's hard. Like, it's for me, since I know that Michael Jackson wrote or Michael Jackson performed Human Nature, it's gonna take a whole lot of programming, a lot of mind erasure. It's gonna take a lot of stuff for you to convince me that you know, that Barry White wrote Human Nature. or that Barry White sung Human Nature, and that's his song. So that's kind of an example. Give me 1 second, because I gotta show y'all this. Give me 1 second, because I got it right here. Because I like showing proof. So I like showing proof. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen for y'all, because I like showing proof. So let me show y'all this right quick. So let me give you the context right quick. So we talking about manifestation. You know, a lot of people, they feel like manifestation isn't real. They feel like magic isn't real. They feel like, you know, all this stuff. And I'm not here to convince you that it's real or not. I'm just here to be the messenger and show you the proof about what I did. So I've been doing my work. I've been doing my magical work. You know, not speaking too much on it, but I've been doing some magical work, trying to manifest different things and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes spirit gotta. Sometimes you can overdo it, and sometimes spirit just have to show you like, yo, like chill out. Your stuff is working. Let me show you right quick. Let me show you that it's working. So that night, it was like 11, 12 o'clock at night. I was extremely hungry for some reason. I'm like, yo, like what's wrong? Like what's going on with me? Like why am I so hungry right now? And something in my mind was like, yo, like go out and go find something to eat. Like go to Steak and Shake and go get a steak burger or something. And so I hit Satchel up. I'm like, yo, man, like I don't know what's going on. Like I'm just super hungry, and I know I ain't supposed to be eating. And Satchel's like, man, that's your spirit team, man. It's something that you're supposed to be. Something you're supposed to see right now. So go ahead and go get something to eat. So I did. So I end up getting on my motorbike. Got on my motorbike, and I went to Wawa. And there was these four guys. They were in their early 20s, and they all surrounded me because they saw my motorbike, and they was like, yo, man, that's a real nice bike and all that kind of stuff. Now, mind you, this was right after I did my magical stuff. I did my magical stuff, and I went out, and there was this drunk Latino guy, and he was in this real nice Yukon with rims on it and everything. So he got out of his car or a truck, and he was like, yo, like what is it about you that made all of these guys right here circle around you and target you like this? And so the white guys were like, target him? We're not targeting him. Like, we just telling him that he got a nice bike. And then he kept looking at me, and he was like, karma. He was like, no, that's karma. No, what you need. And I'm like, huh? Like, what you talking about? You know, because he started acting weird. He was like, no, what you need. This is karma. What you need. Anything that you need, I'll get it to you. I'll get it. I'm like, what? You know, now y'all may not believe me when I tell y'all that this is what happened. Y'all may not believe me when I tell y'all that this actually happened to me. Because I was shocked at it. I'm like, man, ain't no magic work that fast. ain't no shit ever work like that. You know, Satchel, if I missed anything, type it in the chat. If you feel like I missed anything with that story, type it in the chat. I just want to show y'all right quick. And this is just a little 30-second video, but this brings my point home about your manifestation. You know, you can be out here going through it, you know, trying to make it. And if you know the right Maji, you will have people around here treating you like this.
How much? $11.92. Right there. Hey, no. Take more. All of them.
No, I'm good. I just want that.
No, bro. Take him. Take him, bro.
I'm good.
Okay.
Hold on, let me show it again.
How much?
$11.92.
Right there.
Dude was like,
No. Take more.
dude was like, I got $500 for you.
Take more.
I got $500.
No, I'm good. I just want that.
No, bro. Take him. Take him, bro.
I'm good.
Wanted me to get all of them.
Okay. All right.
Wanted me to get all that stuff
Appreciate you.
in real time. Hey, tell them, Satchel.
Yes. I love those, man.
Man,
Back in the mini-minis, but the problem is I really
Yeah,
don't.
bruh, hold on. Let me see. Is this the? Bruh, no, that's the Yukon right there.
He finna go to jail.
So they got, so they were so,
Why is he
they were so,
driving? He's drunk.
you know,
Yo,
scared
he
of
finna
him
go to jail.
because of the way he was acting towards me, that they end
Bro,
up,
I feel bad, man.
they end up calling the police on that guy, you know, because he was drunk, you know. I just wanted to show y'all, that right quick. I know we still on Tuesday, but I just wanted to show that right quick, just so I can bring my point home, you know. And and I didn't even have all the tools. I didn't even have all the tools that I needed for the particular magic work that I did. You know, I ain't even have, I got a homegirl, you know, she's a Dragon Lady Oshun, and she be helping me out. And she was telling me, she was like, you need this and this and this. And I ain't even have all of that. But with the little that I did have, I was able to make this result happen. So imagine if I really had all the shit that I really, really needed, you know? So that's just some little proof for you, you know, just something for you to think about. Now, this is Wednesday. So this is Wednesday, you know? And this right here is a very telling message as well. We know in this Orisha card deck, Legba is talking about employment. You know, and right now, you know, we're in the summertime right now, and when it comes to work, even I'm going through this right now. So any you know, anything that y'all can help me out with, it would be very needed, because right now, you know, since I work at the school, I'm on break right now. So I'm looking for some work. I'm looking for some work to do for these next couple months. So this right here is hitting home for me as well. Now, you also got Oshala. So this is Obatala. You know, things ain't working out, and people feel like, let me see what you're saying. I tell my clients all the time how potent this magic can be, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So a lot of people right now, man, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. The simplest shit. So with this Legba, this is like, you know, things coming to a halt when it comes to your job. You know, a lot of us is we trying to make it with this job. We wondering why our jobs are failing. You know, some of us may be leaving a job or having some flack on the job, and we feel like this finna be our last day or whatever. And then when it comes to Oshala with this Ace of Water reverse, emotionally, you may feel like God don't even exist. You know, you may feel like if you're in a situation where you feel like your spirit team ain't working for you, or if you feel like you just feel like God don't exist, you got to understand the environment that you're in and what the snakes in that environment, or what the nature in that environment entails. So that's what the Five of Air is talking about. So this kind of goes into when I had this talk with great great grandma, and she was telling me the age-old question, what is a man and what is a woman? That's like an age-old question. And it's hard for people to really, it's hard for people in the higher ups to really tell you what is a man and what is a woman, you know. So the way it was explained to me is that a disembodied, when a man is disembodied, when he doesn't have a body, and you can just see right through the hologram and see what the man represents. The best way I can explain it, Gotham City, like how Gotham City looks. This is on a the lowest way of thinking about it, this is what a man represents. The man represents a city, and the city has structures. The structures don't have no color though. They have structures. They got different systems, different organizations. Like the way she showed it to me, it's like a ready-made city, but everything is black and white. Especially a man who don't know himself. A man is a world. They say it's a man's world. Solar Practice, thanks for all the info. Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you for stopping by, and this is going to be on the playback. So a man is a world. The man is the world, but when the man doesn't know himself, that world is all black and white. It's all black and white. Now, the woman, and when she showed me what the woman represented, it was like a little girl that is when you it's like a little girl, but then it's like a suspended in a cloud. It's like an illusion, and it's like this cloud is like an essence. It's like a cloud of intelligence. It's like an essence. And when you go into that cloud, that essence that represents the woman, you see animals, you see nature, you see the essence of nature, you see the essence of animals, you see the waters, the raging, the character of the water, and all of this type of stuff, because we don't understand how powerful water is and what water is all about. Hell yeah, man. That's dope. But yeah. So when a woman gets with a man, she pretty much paints and decorates his city, his world. So now his world has a weather cycle. His world has nature. His world has bugs and insects and animals, and all of this different stuff comes into the man's world because of the woman. So when that man and that woman come together, they create a cohesive ecosystem. Now this is the thing. The reason why it is so much easier for a man to be individual and know himself and stuff like that is because when he didn't know himself, and that woman, that essence, was added into his world, and it painted everything and all of that stuff, like she became his everything. Like that's what it really means when you say you are my everything. You are the sunshine in my life. I give you the sun, the rain, the stars, the moon, and the mountains, because that's what a woman without her body, that's what she represents. It's like a cloud of information, and when that cloud of information enters your world, it's going to show up as nature, it's going to show up as weather, it's going to show up as clouds, it's going to show up as wind. That's why you have goddesses that represent all of these different things that I just said. There's a goddess that represents the rainbow, and that's what Oshumare represents up top. There's a goddess that represents the wind, Oya or Ayao. You got goddesses that represent the different lands. You got an Oshun that represents the grasslands. You got an Oshun that represents the river. You got all of these different goddesses that represents nature, because that's what a woman in her most disembodied form represents. And that's the reason why when that woman decides that she want to leave you, now when you think about that in a quantum level, as that woman is leaving you, she's taking all of that with her. She's taking all of that back with her. Her animals done destroyed your vegetation. You know, her weather and her mood and her weather has destroyed your buildings and stuff like that, and you got to get all of that back together. And then when she fully pulls away from that man, now his world is like a black and white destruction. Like, it's like, think about a apocalyptic destructed, like a world that was destroyed, and then but it's black and white, you know. And that's the reason why when it comes to um the mother's child or the great great grandmother's child, the woman that since on a inner child level, I know myself. That means that the world that I have, it has come pre-packaged with its own nature system, which is the great 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 grandmother. You know, and this is the reason why, you know, as men, we have to always be in that state of knowing who we are, without, you know, having to depend on the woman to be everything. And then this is also why on the other side, the Masons, they're not even permitted to even be with a woman. So that's another side. You know, in that club, there's no women allowed. You know, so that's something else to think about. So when you look at this up top, to wrap up Wednesday, the reason why things may be hard on your job, the reason why, you know, you may feel like God doesn't exist in your world, is because your environment, when it comes to the airwaves and the stuff that you listen to and all of that stuff, your environment is toxic. And when it comes to this Oshumare, it's upright, which means your nature is what you make of it. So it's time for us to now focus more going within and looking at the world that's inside of us, inside of our mental, instead of always looking at what's going on the outside world. Because if your nature in your inner world is sunny and is nice and all of that, now you got this message from water right here, and this is someone who is able to experience a victory, whether the outside world is looking good or bad. And the reason why is because their inner world, their inner emotions in their inner world is sunny, and their inner world is nice, and in their inner world their grass is cut and the animals are fed and all of that kind of stuff. Is very key, and it's time for us to go back to that type of thinking. It's the only way that you're gonna really be able to make it in this world, you know, coming up in the future. All right, so that's Wednesday. So now we're on Thursday. So this right here, we got this Three of Earth, and if I'm not mistaken, the Three of Earth reverse is talking about lack of analysis. Let me check. And so the Three of Earth, this is like a mental, it's like a mental thing. It's like being selfish and stuff like that, not wanting to collaborate and stuff like that. And then with this Seven of Air, we all have the right. We all have the right when we learn who we are and what our world represents, and we see how predatory the world that we've been placed in is. It's okay to be selfish, and it's okay to stand alone. That's what that is, and this is standing alone verbally, or this is like standing alone when it comes to you may be the only one in the crowd that's saying the right, that you know, you may be the only one in the crowd that has the right idea. And don't be so um because now we're talking about Obanani, her Pataki, how she lost everything because she didn't understand the power that she specifically had. She didn't understand that her position with Shango ain't going nowhere, you know? And she let others that was close to her that wished that they had her position get in her ear and make her have a low self-esteem and made her do something that made her lose it all. So what Thursday teaches you is that it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to stand alone in your thoughts, because at the end of the day, no one can take away what is meant for you but yourself. That's the most simplest way of talking about Thursday. So now we're on Friday. All right. So again, this is also talking about support being pulled from you. That's the 3 of fire. So the 3 of fire, you trying to make something happen, and it just seemed like spiritually nobody is fully on board. And you over here thinking that it's bad karma reverse. You thinking since you trying to manifest this bag right here, and it's not happening. It's reversed. It's not happening because not all of your spirit team is on board with it, and you over here thinking that it's just bad karma. You thinking it's bad karma, but no. What this is saying up top is lack of analysis with your spirit team. With this 9 of fire, reversed. Remember the 27 card. Remember what that 27 card represented. So this 9 of fire reverse, that's something spiritual that you failed to obtain. The job's not finished. When it comes to this spiritual work, there is no clocking in and clocking out. There is no breaks. There is no vacation time and all that kind of stuff. And when it comes to the work that you're doing, there's so many different symbols and all of this stuff, depending on the world that you represent, depending on who you represent, the symbols are going to be different. With me, sometimes when I know something is about to happen, I'll see a spider, because I know that spider is one of Oya's and Legba's messenger animals. And depending on if that spider is big or small, I know what type of change is coming. And that's just my example. And I can be around here doing all this work and all this, and I'm not seeing a physical difference, but then I'm getting all these signs and I'm not understanding why things are it seems like it's a blockage or whatever. So sometimes you can do too much work on one specific thing, and it's kind of like you're blowing a circuit. Like you're blowing a circuit. Said especially for Shango, it's always more to do. Yeah, I'm telling you. But and sometimes I can add to that. Sometimes you got to be still. Sometimes it's about being still and letting things. It's like you're cooking. Sometimes you got to be still and you got to let it bake. You got to let it cook. If you keep standing over it and stirring it up and doing all of this stuff to it and putting it back in the oven, it ain't gonna never come out right. So that's for Friday. So now we're on the weekend, baby. So this is Saturday. So this is 4 of air. So this is talking about people coming back around. It's like people seeing you shining, they seeing you a certain way, and they wanna come back around, and they wanna try to act like that they're cool with you, or they wanna act like it was a misunderstanding or stuff like that. It's like people trying to come back into your life after they gave you some painful memories. You know, that's what the Four of Air is talking about. And then the Ace of Air. You know, you don't gotta cuss them out. You don't gotta cuss them out. Your message is of peace at the end of the day. And sometimes that can be the most misunderstood person, is the person that's always trying to keep their peace of mind from being tempted. Remember what I said about the peace of mind. We all came down here with a piece of the mind of God. We all came down here with a peace of mind, and that peace of mind that you have is unique to you, and no one else can take it from you. And we live in a world that wants to keep you distracted so that you forget about your peace of mind. And then you start to use your peace of mind, and you start to fill your mind up with bugs and parasites and reptile bugs and rats. And man, I really wish y'all could see what this world looks like in the astral. Like this world is riddled with all kind of all kind of stuff, but it don't look like what it looked like when you wake up. It's crazy. It's crazy, but I just thank God that I never lost that ability to see between worlds, and you know, all the stuff that Eshu represents, because I have to, because this world is just so upside down. Like, I have to be able to remember what's on the other side. Man, I'll be going crazy. Like, if I thought that this was the only, that this is it, man, this is it's so depressing. It's very depressing, you know. But that's what that outcast is, someone who's outcasted because they didn't want to sacrifice their peace of mind. You know, they remember the painful memories about how they was left out in the desert. You know, they was left out to die. You know, this is someone who was left out to die. You know, you said only Eshu can see what's on the other side. That's not true. Yemoya can see what's on the other side. Oya, she works on the other side. The only thing about it is, the principles of Eshu, of being able to walk in between worlds, you know, they call that being they try to call it being double-minded, and that's not true. We only got one mind. We only got one mind. There's only one mind. You know, that's it. There's only one mind. But we all have a piece of that mind, and with that piece of that mind, we can do so much more with it than we even know. You know, we don't even understand, and that's what Hollywood is about, trying to experiment on people who came down here with certain spiritual gifts because they were supposed to raise the vibration of the planet. You know, I had to say that real fast because something been keeping me from saying it, but that's really what it is. You know, they experiment on these people. We're all a experiment in one way or another. So you better learn who you are and learn how to use your gifts for what they're supposed to be used for, so you can stop being drained and stuff like that. You know, it don't matter if you got to be an outcast, because at the end of the day, your peace of mind is the most important, and I'll sacrifice anything for that, to keep that, because your peace of mind is what brings you back to God. You know, that's your that shining cord that's connected when you're astral traveling, to always connect you. It's not to connect you back to your body, it's to connect you back to source. You know, because there's some places that I've astral traveled to and I didn't have a cord. I was free. You know, the only places where I had the cord, where I was real low, I had to get real low. You know, I get real low, go to some lower dimensions, and I gotta have that cord so I can yank on it and it'll bring me back up. It's like when you're mining in a cave or something, and you gotta go down this big hole, and you got a harness, and you got a rope, and you can pull on that rope when it's time for you to go up. And that's how some of us gonna get up out of here. That's how some of us gonna get out of here. They gonna pull on that rope. They gonna find out that they got a rope behind them, and they gonna pull on that rope, and the creator is gonna look at that as, oh, he ready to go, or she ready to go. And then, you know, that's how you gonna get up out of here. So for Sunday, and this was a very, very very telling card for Sunday. Cause look at that. See, Oshun can't never. It's like she can't never have nothing. It's like she can be pregnant with it, but it's hard for her to enjoy what she have. A lot of times with Oshun, the journey is within the pregnancy. It's not actually having the kids, because somebody else gets to enjoy that. You know, in a lot of her paths, because Oshun is also she's like the female half of the eternal child. That's why she can represent the most purest version of love, the most purest version of compassion, the purest version of beauty and all those type of things. But her version of beauty is gonna look childlike. It's gonna look like when you were a baby girl. What were the things that you were interested in that made you feel so glowy and just so sparkly as a little girl? It ain't got nothing to do with makeup. Like all of that shit is fake. It's fake. It's not real. That's an egregore. I don't want to say demon. You know, because that word is used too much. That word is used too much. You know, I don't want to use that word. It's like a egregore. That some toxic elder done made that egregore into something that everybody is supposed to worship. And I'm like, no. When I got to know these Orisha, you know, they don't hardly look nothing like what the elders were telling me they look like. Like, Oshun is a little girl. She's a baby girl. The most purest version of Oshun is a baby girl. I don't care what nobody, you know, got to say about it, you know, because that's just how it is. Like, these Orisha represent childlike energies of God. Even the older ones like Aganju, you know, even the older ones like Aganju and Yimbo and Odua and all of these, you know, like it's so deep. And every world has a version of these Orisha in their world. You walking around here, you got a soul. When you go deep into your world where your inner child is at, you have all of these Orisha in your world. You just gotta get down there and get to know them. And when you get to know them, they may not even look like what you were taught. In Eshu's world, Ogun and Oya never broke up. That's an example for me. In Eshu's world, Ogun is he's like a woodworker, or he's like like his occupation, like he's like someone who clears like wood, like he works in the forest, and he does that all day and all night, and then he does that like all day, and then he comes back. He's him and Oya, they've been married for so long, and they have children together. I think Ogun got like 2 or 3 kids by Oya, you know, and he has this shop. He has like this shop in this shed in the back of his house, and in this shop, this is where Ogun is able to tinker with metal. You know, he's able to use some of Oya's alchemical power, and he can make these different gadgets and different stuff with metal. And you know, the baby Eshu is always fascinated about the things that Ogun can create with his mind. You know, what's up, Fly Assassin guy? Yeah, man, I'm just right now I'm just talking about the real when it comes to these Orisha. You know, in your world, if you have a soul when you go deep into your world and your the universe is mental. You go into your mental universe and you go into your world where your inner child has never left that world, you're gonna find out that there are already Orisha in that world doing what they're doing. They already there. And what else you're gonna find out, and this is some hoodoo shit, you're gonna find out that you've had certain ancestors that you know or you may not know, and they already represented those Orisha for you. So you shouldn't have no doubt in your mind what Legba is, because you had a great uncle. You had an uncle, and that uncle, he represented Legba to the T, because that's who he was. So you don't have to go to no elder outside of your family, and he gotta initiate you under Legba. Like, man, that's my uncle. You know, for me, Legba is my dad. My dad is a Gemini. You know, and I'm not gonna put the, because I know y'all don't like that. I'm not gonna put the astrology, even though that makes that really brings it home. That really brings it home. You know, but my dad, the reason why I'm able to use analogies and I'm able to have certain examples and do stuff like that, it comes from my dad. There were a lot of times in my life where I was at a crossroads, and I would look to my dad in ways that he never knew that I looked to him in certain ways. You know, I started rocking black and red in high school because I was this close from being a vice lord. I was this close. Like, I could have got blessed in. Man, they were so cool with me. The Bloods and the vice lords were always cool with me. They would always protect me, stuff like that, you know. But it was me looking at how my dad was respected without doing gangster shit, and I wanted to figure out, what's that about? Like, what's that about? Like, why my dad can go in the hood, and this is like the hood. Like, man, me and my dad be driving around in the hood, and be some gangster niggas pull up some, you know, hey man, what up, Mr. Freeman? What's going on? Oh, that's your son right there? That's your son? Like, yeah, you know, that's my son, you know. Hey man, you better listen to this man right here. You better listen to this. You better listen to your daddy, man. You better listen to that man, dog. You know. And I'm like, and I'm you know, I'm over here, and this is the same place where these so-called, you know, and these are, you know, people that was way older. So I'm like, why am I finna get into some low-level high school gang shit that's not even really, you know, the real vice lords is in Chicago, but that's a whole other thing. I ain't even gonna go into that. But I'm like, why am I gonna do that where my dad has shown me a different level of a different way of getting respect? I want to learn about that. So this is how I ended up becoming the version of Legba, because Legba represents a job, you know, a messenger. Legba means, you know, a divine messenger of God. That is a job. That is something that you had to work. You got to work hard to be able to hold a divine vibration within you that is entrusted with you to give that message to the people. Like what I'm doing right here, giving to y'all. You know, I only got 3 people in the chat, but this is very important. You know, there's a I don't want to say too much, but there's like a spiritual meeting with my spirit team that I have when I get off this live. You know, and I'm telling them like, yo, all right, I did my part. I'm like Janet Jackson on that show. I did my part. You know, and that's what I want to be able to say when I leave here. That's what I want to be able to say when I leave here. Yo, I did my part. You know, but first you got to know what your part is. You got to know what part, and this is what Oshun teaches you. You know, when Oshun decides to inhabit a human body, she's like a character in her own little play. If y'all could see the baby Oshun, like she's like a thespian. She's like a freaking, not a lesbian. She's a thespian. Like she's like the actress of all actresses. Like she can really act like anything. You know, she could be the swamp queen. She can act like a okay. I gotta tell y'all this before I go, because I'm already done with the OPOT. So what this is, this 9 of air, right? This is like a feeling that everyone is out to get you. This is a feeling that everyone is out to get you. But again, we're talking about communication. This is like a mental psychosis of you thinking that everyone is out to get you. And when we talk about the devil, and then we talk about this bad omen, this could also be talking about spiritual work that was aimed against you. You know, spiritual work. This is spiritual work that is aimed against you. You know. Now, what this Oshun represents, this represents a treasure that is allotted to you in the land of milk and honey. Like this is like a treasure. Oshun represents a treasure that is like an inherited treasure. I'm trying to explain it. It's like an inherited treasure that you don't have, because if you had it, the devil would have been able to take it from you. So we know that Oshun represents the 5th house. You know, the 5th house is where the soul sits. It's the Leo, that Leo energy that represents the sun. You know, the shining sun, the rising sun, the shining sun. So this is talking about you can never truly sell your soul, because this particular entity that represents the abundance of your soul is buried so with what this 8 of fire, the volcano, it looked like a volcano up top. What that represent is this treasure is so deep within you that it's like you worrying for nothing, because the devil is nothing is no kind of curse that the devil can put on you, and there's no kind of omen that the devil can place on you that will make you lose this what this Oshun represents. This Oshun represents the abundance of your soul, and it's hidden. But what this 8 of air represents is this is what the devil hates that he can't have. You know, it's like the dragon can eat the human child. The dragon can eat the human child, but then when that dragon has to burp, the soul escapes. When the dragon burps, or the dragon got a shit out, the soul escapes. The soul is able to escape. And as long as that soul is as long as you got connection to that soul, you can make it through anything. You know, as long as you have the connection to your soul and the essence that soul is able to provide, which is going to be so beautiful, like Oshun, it's going to be so beautiful. As long as you got that, there's nothing that this devil, there's nothing that somebody can put a curse on you and try to take from you. There's nothing that nobody can throw some negative energy at you and take it, because it's yours. There's nothing. The baby Eshu and the baby Oshun are so close that it's nothing that she can hear about that Eshu is doing that's gonna make her not love him anymore or any less. The same vice versa. Same vice versa. You know? So if y'all can heed that message for this week, you will be glad that you did. Let me put this one. All right. So that is my weekly forecast, y'all. I hope y'all was able to enjoy that. I know this was long. I didn't think it was gonna be this long. I'm sober now, so that's not good. Cause I didn't start out like that. But Spirit told me that's the only way that I would be able to get out this deep stuff that I needed to get out. Because when I was talking real fast, that was me trying to get out the deep stuff. Cause I ain't want to forget it. I ain't wanted to say great word. Always appreciate you for doing these. I definitely it was like everything failed. Like the only reason why I'm doing this right now because I got 2 external screens and I had it in my backpack so I can finish this episode, and both of those screens ended up breaking. Both of my external screens that I was using to finish this episode up, they broke because they was in my backpack. So that's the only reason why I'm here right now. So it's a reason. Somebody's gonna need to hear these messages. So I'm, like I said, man, God definitely has a way of making sure that His messengers are in line, and making sure that His messengers are right where they're supposed to be, so they can give the right message. So again, if y'all want to support, I'm gonna save the story of Oshun and Alosa, because that's a pataki that I got. I think I'm gonna save that. I think I'm gonna save it. But www.bandclaptv.com. Click on the support tab if you want to support and donate, so that way I can make this Eshu's World animated series so good, it'll be something that your kids will be able to watch and get some good things from. So I definitely appreciate y'all, and until next time, peace.